Hi everybody, welcome to week 2 of Unit 10. We are working on Monday, April 20th. This is your Fundations lesson for today. One thing we did in the last 2 Fundations lessons were the alphabet chant. We went through every letter and sound, including our digraphs. One thing that students have learned in the past that we're going to add on now are our glued sounds. Now when I'm doing the alphabet chant, I don't include the glued sounds, but when I'm doing my flashcards, I do. Now, a glued sound is a group of letters which may include vowels, and they keep their individual sounds, much like a blend does. However, we call them glued sounds because our mouth tends to glue those sounds together. You don't always hear the individual sounds very clearly. So what we're going to do is go through our flashcards, have your child say the sound. If they get a sound incorrect, you can pause this video and help them to fix it. Almost there. Now, when I do the flashcards like that, I try to make sure that I include every vowel sound, every digraph, a few glued sounds, and then whatever tricky sounds might pop up. So I like to include both C and K. I like to include G. These are ones that kids will make little mistakes on pretty frequently. So our big topic today is going to be suffixes. Now, your child has already learned about one suffix, at least one. A suffix is a word part that gets added to the end of a base word, and it'll actually change the meaning of a word. Even if it's the slightest little bit, it will change the meaning of a word. Now, the one suffix that I know all of our children know is the suffix S. It is the simplest one out there. It's the first one that we teach children. It can mean that there is more than one. If we're talking about nouns, it pluralizes the noun. Or if we're talking about verbs, it can mean that that verb is happening now. So the suffix S has 2 different sounds. It can sound like S, or it can sound like Z, depending on the base word that comes before it. So take a look at some of these sample words. Caps, swings, bumps, shops. Look at the markings on this word. When we mark words with a suffix, we always underline the base word and circle the suffix. That's one of the most important notes about understanding suffixes. Suffixes will always have a base word or a root word before them. What is the base word in the word caps? If you said cap, you're correct. Now consider the word swings. What is the base word in the word swings? What is the base word in the word bumps? What is the base word in the word shops? You would have said swing, bump, and shop. Now, when you are spelling a word with a suffix, the first thing you're going to do is say that word, separate the base word from the suffix, and then finger spell the base word only. That part's very important. So I taught you a little bit about finger spelling recently. We'll go over how we do that with words that have suffixes. One thing you can do is just ask the child, what is the base word here? Or you can actually have them motion it with their hands if they need to. Let's say the word is something simple like cops. You could ask the child, what is the base word in the word cops? And if they're thinking quickly that way, they can tell you cop. If it's a little bit trickier, have them separate it. Cops. Cop. Cops. Your base word's here. What's your base word? Cop. Remember, rule number 3, finger spell the base word only. So your child will say, p. They'll write the letters that represent these sounds, and then knowing that the word is cops, they'll add the suffix S on at the end. We don't finger spell suffixes, we just memorize them. They're a small piece, it's easy enough to do. Now here is the activity today. If you are in Miss Sauer and Miss Azarano's class, this activity is available on Seesaw and you can log off now. If you're in another class, then I would grab a piece of paper and pause this video just to take some time to write this stuff down. All right, now your job is to take the base word, add on the suffix s, and then provide us the new word. Ask your teacher if they want this submitted, if they want a picture of it, if they want you to hold on to it. Make sure you know their expectation. Again, suffix s is really a review lesson for the kids. It's going to lead us into our lesson tomorrow on the suffix ed.